Okay, so there's absolute mayhem going on outside my house right now.
What's happening? Tell me.
There's a guy who's my neighbor, or maybe it's a female, and that she's got like the La Cucaracha horn, and like 20 times a day, it's like, I'm like, come on, man. It's just like, and it cuts through all glass. And then
Mm.
there's helicopters like crazy going all over the place. They're sawing and like working on a water break near. It's basically like your hair is going on outside of my place right now.
Just craziness. Yeah, well, if you hear any voices, it's just the TV in the background.
Oh, nice. That's solid. I love that. You probably have a roommate who's like, "Yeah, do podcast, bro. I'll keep it down a little, but I'm not going to keep down that much."
Yeah, no, exactly.
I bet. Uh, 4th of July weekend. 4th of
Yeah.
July. Does that mean parties for you?
Yeah, I don't quite know what I'm doing yet tomorrow. I was invited to my friend's pool party in Culver City, so I might go to that, but I'm also still figuring it out. One of my other friends wants to go to like a rooftop pool thing. Actually really don't know what I'm doing.
Well, what are the
Yeah.
benefits? Like, what are the pros? Let's pro and con this out. Let's talk about the myth of the 4th of July day party.
Well, you know what's funny? When I first lived here, I was somehow friends with a bunch of like influencers. So the first 4th of July ever when I lived here, I went to the Nobu all white party out in Malibu, and I felt so like, how did I end up here? But I feel like that's overrated, TBH.
Okay.
But okay, I don't know. I could go to like house pool party, which I feel like will be fun. And
What would happen at a house pool party? Do you wear a bikini?
of course, wear a bikini, but I'll probably wear like some comfy clothes over top. And then
Hold on, I need to know. Bikini, is it like thirst trap bikini, like the ones in the pictures?
always, I don't have
Really?
any others. I only
Okay.
own like 2 bikinis, to be honest.
Okay.
I can't remember the last time I've gone shopping for one.
Okay. So one's made of string, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
and the other one's probably in the same ballpark.
yeah,
And it's for the purpose of luring in
exactly.
the fellas or making the ladies jealous. What's the purpose of the string
Honestly,
bikini?
I like. I think it's not gonna. I feel like yes, it shows off more, but I'm also like I get a better tan that way. I want all of me to be tan.
So it's more about you, despite the fact
Of course.
that it's going to be like the Van Halen video, head turning, like, oh my God. You're like, it's not about you. I want to be tan.
Exactly.
And is it about like impressing your gal pals as well a little bit?
No, because on like I don't know. Ever since I feel like I've talked about this before, but ever since I got diagnosed with PCOS, and I've like known to see when I have like flare ups and stuff, I'm having like a crazy bad flare up right now where my body's like really inflamed and bloated, and I honestly don't like the way my body looks in a bikini right now. But you know,
What is
it's
PCOS again?
it's polycystic ovary syndrome. So basically, I have like I have like cysts growing on my ovaries.
Holy crow.
Yeah, but I've been doing so much research on it, but it's kind of like having diabetes of the uterus. So I'm like kind of like insulin resistant as if I were having type 2 diabetes. So it's like I could eat like a grain of rice and it's like I'm 10 pounds heavier.
Wow. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. And I'm definitely not dieting and exercising the way I should be to try to keep it at bay, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay. So tomorrow, 4th of July party, one is a pool party. Will there be boys there? Is this a chance for you
Course.
to, this is for a chance for you to meet new fellas, make old ones jealous?
I feel like it'll be a lot of similar faces that I know. It's a lot of the like Barney's crowd that's going there.
So there's going to be a lot of this.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Or there's like I think a pool party at a rooftop pool party at a bar. I don't know. My friend was like, "Let's go to Desert 5." And I'm like, I
Do
don't
all
know.
of your friends have like, okay, vocal fry? Is that a thing? Is that what happens? Do they all have it? Or is it just Just your impression of them?
Just my impression. But it was actually a boy that suggested we go to the Desert 5 bar, so he wouldn't even talk like that at all. It's just
Where's Desert 5?
it's in Hollywood. It's like the country bar. I've actually never been, but I guess they're doing something tomorrow.
Line dancing? That sounds fun. My friend said to me earlier, he's like, going to this party tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to hook up with this girl who I blew it with a year and a half ago. I know she's going to be there. I'm like, you've been thinking about this for a year and a half? A year and a half. And you've been waiting for like July 4th redemption.
Well, he who will not be named, Mr. Fancy Pants, who I saw for 2.5 seconds. It was his birthday yesterday, and I was like contemplating all day, like, do I wish him a happy birthday? But I was like, no, he's happily dating some other girl. I don't need to wish him a happy birthday.
Are you talking about Uncle Tequila?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you need to walk away from that.
I mean, no, I'm like so far removed. I haven't spoken to him in months, but I was just like, do I be nice and wish him a happy birthday? But I was like, no, he didn't wish me a happy birthday. All he did was like my story.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm telling you. But the myth of like the 4th of July party, it's just like, especially in LA, it's so visually perfect, but it's so in actuality just kind of the worst, right? It's like, first off, you can't drink a lot because it's so hot out and you're so dehydrated.
Yeah.
And second of all, if you do get drunk, now it's 3 o'clock and you want to go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've actually like never been to the beach for 4th of July, and I think that would be so fun. Like honestly, that's kind of all I want to do tomorrow, but I don't think any of my friends want to go to just do the beach, so I don't really know. But I've had some fun 4th of July party experiences. Well, actually, I guess really just like one was really fun. It was in 2021. I was at this this is when I was friends with a bunch of music people, and I was at this one guy's house. He like lived up in the hills, like literally right under the Hollywood sign. It was freaking gorgeous. And there was this guy who was there that I was like kind of seeing off and on at the time. And but I was like friends with all the girls in this friend group because all the girls were dating the guys. And so this one girl, her name was also Hannah. She's like, oh yeah, just come over to so-and-so's house to pregame. And then we're all going to go to like the other house. So I just like walk in and I remember passing by the window of the guy that I was like hooking up with at the time. And I remember hearing like, oh my God, Hannah's here. And I was like, I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. And then as I walk in, like one of the other roommates went into this guy's room and he was like, wait, is that Hannah? And they were like, yeah, Hannah's here. And I was like, uh-oh, like I guess they didn't know I was coming over. The girls had just invited me and I was like, just thought it was like, oh, it's fine, we're all friends. But the guys were kind of like, why is Hannah here? But it ended up being fine. But then at the end of the night, we went back to the guy's house and we're all just kind of having like an after party. And he was like, oh, like, do you want to watch SpongeBob together? And this was kind of like when we were like on the outs of us like hooking up, like we weren't hooking up as often. And I was like, yeah, like I'll stay over and watch SpongeBob. But like I ended up, because there was like 3 of us at first all laying on the bed together. So I fell asleep at like the foot of the bed because there was like 2 other people at the top. And then I wake up in the middle of the night and it's just me and the guy that I had been seeing. And I just kind of like stayed there because I was like, I don't really know if like we're still hooking up. Like I don't know what the vibe is. Like he was kind of flirting with another girl all day. Like I didn't really care. We weren't like together. But then like he wakes up in the middle of the night and he's like, you can like sleep on a pillow at the top of the bed, right? I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, totally. And then in the morning I just woke up and I was like, all right, like gotta go. Oh my God, you know what's so funny? This is his shirt.
I see so many red flags in that story. I see so many. First off, you went to 3 parties in one day. 3.
Yeah.
You went to a party before the party, then you went to the party, and then there was an after party.
Yeah.
I think those are the most frightening words in my entire possible vocabulary. After party. It's just like, wait a second, you want to go to a party after we were already at a party?
Well, the pre and the after were the same house. So I guess it was.
So okay. So, all right. So is that was that his move? Well, like, was he just like, I want, like, is SpongeBob a sex move for the kids?
Well, no, it was just like when we met, we both shared a common interest of loving SpongeBob as an adult.
Mhm.
And so that used to be like our thing, is like we'd watch SpongeBob together.
Is he autistic? Like what?
Oh, I mean, I have a freaking SpongeBob tattoo on me, for God's
I
sake.
know you wear all the stuff all the time. I've seen it. Okay, that's great. All right, so you're a fan of the Fourth of July party. So you could go to as many as 3 parties tomorrow.
Totally.
You could go to a pre-party before you go to Fox Five or After Ranch. What's it called? Fire Five,
Desert 5.
Desert Five, and then you could also hang out somewhere afterwards, or
Yeah.
you could go to the day party, but
Mhm.
start off somewhere else for sure, and then go to the day party and then be at an after party.
Yeah.
Now, if a guy wants to make an inroad with you, is instead of Netflix and chill, is it Netflix and SpongeBob, or like SpongeBob and chill? And like,
Yeah, honestly, like a key to my heart is be like, do you want to watch SpongeBob? I'm like, sold.
really?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny watching it back as an adult. There's so many jokes that fly over your head as a child. And you're like, I mean, originally SpongeBob was supposed to be an adult show. Like
Hmm.
they wanted it to be an adult cartoon. And then they were like, no, I think there's a better child audience for this. But there's still so many innuendos in there that you're like, huh.
What kind of innuendos do you hear in a SpongeBob episode?
So many. Like they definitely refer to, I don't know, like
Are they doing dick jokes?
well, yeah, there's definitely like sex jokes in there and like just other things. Like I can't think off the top of my head, but you watch it back and you're like, oh, they were flying right over my head.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. I think Fourth of July parties, from my perspective. I suppose if you're, I mean, the adult version, like you're young and single. I'm older and not. My version of a Fourth of July party is we're all going over to married couple's house. They're gonna have a bunch of food. It's gonna be hot. We'll sit in the hot tub for a minute, then we'll leave. That's like literally that's ours. That's our
Yeah.
version. There's no sparklers. There's no pre-party. There's no. It's just like show up. Everybody, dudes sitting around talking about meat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
Yours sounds much more fun and exhausting.
It is exhausting. I'll give it that.
I mean, but good for you. Good luck. All right. Well, I hope that you find a fella who is nice to you and who doesn't dump your purse. And I love that I was in Vegas and I drunk texted you. Don't date. It wasn't like anything else other
I
than
was
I'm like,
laughing so hard. You're like number 5. Don't date purse dumper.
I was like, make sure you send the video clips. You have great hair. Don't date purse dumpers. Send. I'm like, that was a weird thing to send. But yeah, so good for you. Is there any purse dumpers gone, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. What are you doing?
Okay. Let me just preface this by saying,
Your mom, who's probably
I
listening, just
know
clicked. She just clicked off. Just
she's
so you know.
calling me right now, Hannah Rebecca. Okay, well, it was me and birthdays. I don't do well with wishing people happy birthday, apparently, but it was his birthday like a month or so ago, or no, it was a few weeks ago. And I was like, do I wish him a happy birthday? And we weren't talking at this point. I had been like weeks without talking to him. And I was like, I should just wish him a happy birthday. And I did. And then he didn't answer. And for some reason, it got to my head. And I was like, he's with another girl. I know he is. And it,
God. Thank God. Okay.
I don't know, it made me spiral a little bit, but I was also PMSing. I was emotional. I was about to have my period. And I was in a crazy, crazy mood. And yeah, but we're all outs again. So it's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
so hold on. But so you're like, I don't like this. I want to try to touch your head for a second. So you're like, I don't like this guy, but I wished him a happy birthday. And because I wished him a happy birthday, he didn't answer. He's with someone else. That makes me upset, even though I have no interest in being with this guy. But because he flipped it on me by not responding, I now assume he's with someone else. And that situation is miraculously better. And I sort of wish I were with him on his birthday because I'm crazy pants.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just in a way slightly triggering because for the last like 2 birthdays that I've known him, he always would kind of like break up with me right before his birthday and then spend his birthday with somebody else. and I just went straight back into like, my head was like fully like, I'm back in it, and he's with some other girl. It's like 2022 all over again.
Turn the volume up. I want to make sure you're able to hear the sound. If you're ready,
Yeah.
hold on. Okay, that just in case you couldn't hear it, I want you to. Oh.
No, I know. I'm doing it to myself, and I'm.
You're fun. No, just let everybody never forget you're fun. Good job. Let's talk Hawk Tuah. We can't avoid it. It's everywhere.
I don't get it. Like, did no one watch the grapefruit video when they were in middle school, high school? Like,
What was the grapefruit video?
Oh my gosh, there's a genius video by this lady. I cannot remember her name, but she gives a whole how-to on how to do it.
You're speaking of blowjobs.
Yes.
That's okay. You can say
And
blowjobs.
it's the grapefruit method though. She's like, oh gosh, like I can't even, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but she's like basically like showing you how to do it. And there's somehow a grapefruit involved in this.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure there is. I could be making this up. I'm so sure. No, I have to look this up now. It's definitely a grapefruit.
Okay. It's a grapefruit tutorial.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere near grapefruit tutorials is nowhere near as catchy as Hawk Tuah. So let's just break it down in case, if you're any person in the world who doesn't understand what that is. So a girl was asked on a YouTube channel, how do you take care of a penis?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, I Hawk Tuah on that thing. And then she laughed. And now she has patented and trademarked the words Hawk Tuah. She made $174,000 last week in merch sales from hats and T-shirts. She signed with a management company, and now she's talking about her own podcast and going into stand-up.
Insane! It's insane what the internet can do for somebody.
It's
in the blink of an eye.
All she did was spit. She was like, she has a catchphrase. It's the same thing we were talking about before. It's not a song anymore. Mm-hmm. It's the 6'4", blue eyes, just fun. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's no longer hit singles. There's like catchphrases.
Yeah.
Catchphrases are the new hit single. And she's technically a rock star for the next 5 minutes. Like next week, do you think anyone's going to be talking about her next week?
I'll probably give it 2 more weeks.
You think 2 more weeks?
Yeah.
What would you compare her level of fame to?
Especially because she just because she kept herself kind of like anonymous for like a week after it went viral. And then she just like came out and did her first podcast since the whole like virality of it. Mm-hmm. And so now that kind of like, it was a smart decision on her part because everybody's trying to get in contact with her. And then she's like, here I am a week later, I'm doing my first interview. And now everyone's tuning in to be like, oh my God, what does she have to say about it? It was just very smart. But I mean, it's just like.
She is famous for talking about spitting on a dick.
Yeah, but it's also like if you're didn't know how to do that, what are you doing?
Sure, but at the same okay. I understand, but I'm just saying this is like a miniature version of Kim Kardashian's fame avenue.
Totally.
This is like the viral Reels version of what happened. So instead, do you remember how the difference between like, I don't know if you would as a female, but like guys would used to look at Playboy versus Maxim as the women in Maxim were much sexier because you had to imagine what it was that they looked like versus Playboy. It's like, here they are.
Everything, yeah.
So now it's the same thing as Monica Lewinsky. Every single dude on earth is going to be like, oh, I want to get blown by Hawk Tuah. So I'm going to see what she's about. Mm-hmm. So if this girl starts an OnlyFans, or if this girl, if she makes a misstep, it's over. Like if she shows everybody what's behind the curtain, if she does an OnlyFans video where she spits on some guy's junk, it's over. Everyone's gonna be like, no big deal. But if she keeps talking about it and doesn't do anything, and she's like, that was just for fun, guys will be coming out of the woodworks to be like, that would be a badge of honor for so many douchebag guys.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's dumb. Like we're just like giving, and it's like, I get it. It's like memes, whatever, content that just like goes viral, whatever. But like, I don't know. It's just like what she got signed to management over a catchphrase. It's like, what about the people who've been working their asses off for years?
100%. Here's
What
my
about the
question.
talent there?
Here's my question. All of a sudden, someone says to you, like, let's say, like, this is a real scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say someone says to you, "Hey, Hannah, I know you're broke. I know I listened to the podcast. I know you need like $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Why don't you come over? I'll give you $1,200. You talk about spitting on my junk, and then the next thing you know, you're like, fuck it, I need $1,200. I just need it. You're not having sex. You're just talking about junk spitting, and the next thing you know, it gets like 6 million views, and
Yeah.
you're fucking huge, and everybody's like, oh my god, the girl with frozen coke hair is the biggest thing in the world, and you sign to a management company, and you trademark junk spitting, and then all of a sudden you're the biggest thing in the world. What's your first move? Is it to talk about your music?
I mean, I think I would obviously lean into like why I went viral for a little bit, but then it's like you got to know how to segue that into stuff.
So is that, I mean, as bad as you want stand up, as bad as you want music, are you willing to be famous for something completely unrelated?
Totally. It's like I get it. I get it. I get it. But I don't know. Just dumb.
It is dumb.
I'm just jealous. Fine. Call
Okay,
me out.
you're jealous of this girl's success when you've been working your butt off, writing, sitting in bed, writing in notebooks, doing tunes, all this stuff, and all of a sudden this girl
Yeah, I mean, I think
basically.
anyone would be. It's like she just made like how much money off of merch in like 1 week? That's insane.
I mean, I'll give her credit. It was very smart trademarking.
Yeah, no,
That
totally.
that was super smart. I bet that wasn't her idea. I bet that was management, because I mean, management has already made their 20% off her, even for the
Yeah.
week. It's a pretty good week. Let's say they made that's close to 30 grand in a week. But now she's going to do stand up, and now she was on stage with Zach Bryan
Yeah.
singing. I don't know. Did she sing?
I think, well, that's the thing because Zach Bryan's girlfriend, this girl, Brianna, is the one who was a girl who did the first interview with her since it went viral. So that's how she
Okay.
got to do the Zach Bryan stuff.
It's just she's everywhere temporarily, and
Yeah.
I mean, again, good for her. Good for her opportunity. Everybody knows how hard it is to have a viral splash in
Mm-hmm.
anything. It requires a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
but good for her. But at the same time, I get it. I get
No,
it.
I get it. It's just part of me is like, so dumb. And then part of me is like, I mean, shit, I'd do the same thing.
You'd be able to look yourself in the mirror if you were famous for talking about junk spitting.
Oh my God, totally. Because originally, like I used to want to start a podcast that was just talking about like all my failed relationships, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But like I used to want to have like a podcast that was like solely centered on like failed relationships and sex advice and all that kind of stuff. Like I would love to just talk about that for hours.
We can do that next episode if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, so like I think yeah, I would totally be known for like, oh yeah, that's the girl that said that, whatever.
It's okay. All right. I mean, you'd be a hit. You'd be a hit at Barney's for at least 2 weeks. You'd be like the most popular. Have you been to Barney's lately? Is Barney's burned?
It's burned because oh my gosh, let me tell you. So I went I went this past Sunday and it was dead. Like usually when I first started going to Barney's, Wednesdays and Sundays were the busiest nights of the week. Like it was like sardines, could not walk around. And honestly, I haven't been in a few weeks, so I don't know what Wednesdays through Saturdays have been like. But recently Sundays have been starting to die down, like since I started going. But when I went this past Sunday, I was like, there is like nobody here. Like there are just tables up for grab everywhere, and that's usually never a thing. But then I saw someone I know there, and there was like, so usually I know the guard when I go to Barney's because if there's ever a line, I literally just go up to the front of the line and I'm like, hey, and they let me right in. I cut the line.
Can you do that voice again?
Hey.
Okay. All right.
I usually cut the line. I mosey right on in. But when I went on Sunday, I was like, oh, there's a new guard. Like, what happened to my homie?
Mhm.
And he's like, can I see your ID? Whatever. Because usually they never check my ID because I know them. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they have like a new fancy like scanning machine to check if your ID is real or not. Because I will say Barney's the last few months has been having a real bad problem with letting in underage girls.
Mhm.
Um, so apparently what happened is I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but someone who was 17 was let into Barney's, got wasted, ended up driving home afterwards, got into a car accident and hit somebody else, and now they're trying to sue Barney's because they let them in as a 17-year-old. So the original guard who was working there quit because there was just like a bunch of drama. So he quit.
Mhm.
Now he works somewhere else, and now there's like there's some new staff, new guard, new scanning machine. So it's just yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. You know what I forgot to tell you? Next week, our guest is Sylvia Sage. She is an adult film star.
Love
So,
that.
so you can ask her all the sex advice or questions you want. And
Okay, perfect.
I'll just sit around and I'll be there for it. That was a fun interview last week. He was
Yeah.
great. He was great. That was fun. That was our most listened to episode so far,
Oh my god,
right?
we love that.
Okay, let's see. Did you ever drink Ciroc vodka?
Yeah,
Now, would you ever drink it again?
absolutely. I could not fathom drinking vodka at all.
Okay, but like if you did drink vodka, would you be able to drink Ciroc based on the Vididiisms, like art
Oh
versus artists?
no,
You
absolutely
wouldn't.
not.
Okay. Let's see.
You're like
Good.
cross out.
Cross out. All right. All right. I've never been a Ciroc guy, but he made like billions off of that. He
Oh
made so
yeah,
much
I mean
money.
it was huge, especially when I was in like middle school and high school. Rock was crazy big, but I just like I used to drink vodka when I was in high school and college, and I think I outdid myself with the Burnett's. Do you know what Burnett's is?
Mm-mm.
Oh gosh. Okay, when I was in college, it was like you'd go to the ABC store,
Mm-hmm.
because that was the only place you could buy like alcohol or liquor.
Okay.
And so you'd go to the ABC store and you could buy a handle of Burnett's vodka for like 10 to 15 bucks. And they came in all different sorts of flavors like cotton candy, green apple, lemon, like the nastiest flavors you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just walk around all night carrying this plastic handle and just pass it around to everybody in the party. And just like everybody's taking shots out of this one thing. Oh, it's so gross. I definitely outdid my vodka run there.
Well, now I know how you got chlamydia. Sorry. Uh, anyways, the it's so funny because you were talking about a 17. It's and you kind of just did the same thing. You were like, I guess some 17-year-old was there and he drank, got wasted, and they're going to sue. When you're younger and you're drinking and you're partaking in all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you just think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
And then
I
you're older and you look back on it and you're like, oh, I was an idiot.
oh God, yeah. If I could take back some of the things I did when I was a drunk teen, not actually 21 yet, like God forbid.
Yeah, it's just some quality decisions all the way around. All right, well, let's rapid fire the rest. Did you
Okay.
see Perfect Match?
I haven't watched the finale yet. I've heard bits and pieces of it, but I kind of just was like, I feel like I heard too much about it that I'm like, I don't need to watch it.
I will say this. Speaking
Who
of
won?
two people who've been on the show for like a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Michelle's got a crush on Stev. She's like Steven. Yes. I'm like, it's Steven. That should be the first clue. The guy sucks. But I think that it's so funny to watch Harry Jowsey
Yeah.
turn into the biggest idiot when he drinks.
Yeah.
Like he comes across, he's tall, good looking guy, has his shit together. He gets a couple of drinks. He's like, I want to put a baby in you. And you're like, wait a minute, that's a weird turn.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a weird turn, friend. Do you think, not to get political, but to just ask, did you hear or see any of the?
Oh, I watched it.
Okay.
I watched maybe half of it, and then I was like, this is a disaster. I can't watch it anymore.
Do you think that man is fit to be president?
I don't think either of them are.
I don't think so either, but I think as far as to represent the Democratic Party, Biden seems like he's worked long enough. He needs to retire. He
And
doesn't
boy,
have
and
mental capacity.
it's crazy looking at the difference of like 4 years ago to like what he looks like and how he speaks now. I'm like, is that really what the government like takes out of you when you're working there for 4 years? Like, I am like, how did he get from this to that? Like,
It's well, first off, it's probably insanely stressful. I mean, look at the difference between
totally.
Obama when he went in, when he
Yeah,
went out, and Clinton when he went in and went out. And it's like, and Reagan lost capacity. It's an intense thinking related position.
totally.
And,
But yeah, watching it, I was like, oh, I'm like, this poor guy can barely speak.
yeah. And it's just like he was just up against some dude who was just everything he said was fibs. So it's
Yeah.
like,
The billions there are billions of dollars. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. If you say billions one more time, there are billions of people.
did you say billions of Dallas?
No, billions of dollars.
Oh, I don't know. Is that is he from New Jersey? Is it a Jersey accent you're
I
doing
don't
for
know
him?
what it is.
Do your impression of Trump as is, but now give him a vocal fry.
Okay. Oh, wait. There's billions of dollars.
That sounded more like Cruella DeVille. Billions of Dalmatians.
We'll just keep. I don't think the Trump impression is in the books for me.
Not yet. Did you do Hollywood Squares again?
I did.
And you didn't talk much, right?
No.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, I think they're gonna do it.
There was at one point because like obviously we're like pretending to be celebrities playing the people. But there was at one point I was like reading the questions, like making sure like I knew what my question was going to be if I was called on. And then like the guy who was like playing the host, you know how he was like going around and being like, oh, like, how are you today before they got into playing the game. So
Right.
he's like, now we're going to go to like our next guest and see how they are. And he like says the name of who I'm playing. And I'm just like so locked in, like reading the question. And then he like says the name again. And I was like, oh, I'm like, fuck, that's me. And I was like, that's me. Yeah, I'm doing great. And I was just like so out of it for a second. I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot that I'm pretending to be somebody else. Cause I was like, why is somebody saying this person's name? I'm like, that's not me. But then I forgot.
Then you realized it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Do you ever done yoga?
Yes, but I really need to get back into it.
Okay. I started it and I do it every day.
Yeah.
I'm only up to like 10 minutes a day because I got to do it slowly. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's just like, first off, it's hard. It's really hard. And I mean, even though I'm doing, what was that? was that a sneeze? For real? That was how you sound when you sneeze?
Yeah.
Okay. God bless you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yoga's awesome. I'm into it. Where do you do your best thinking?
At a coffee shop.
Coffee shop?
Yeah. Put in some meditation music. I'll just start journaling and writing and thinking of life.
Okay. Do you write in cursive?
No. I do like writing in cursive when I'm like doodling. Like on my job every day, we put down like a map of the floor and like who's in what section. And then like I go around to all of the little printed maps at all the service stations throughout the restaurant and I doodle everyone's name in cursive. It's like the thing that I do.
Nice. Awesome. There's only 3 more topics left, and since we're rapid firing, do you believe in ghosts?
Oh my gosh, I could go on forever about this. Of course I do. I did a whole project about this in 8th grade on ghost hunting. So my vocal coach, when I was in elementary school and middle school, she was a ghost hunter. So I was like, I was obsessed with watching ghost hunters on TV. And then when I found out she was a ghost hunter, she used to take me ghost hunting with her.
Okay.
I also think my house was haunted growing up, and yeah, I totally believe in it.
All right, we're talking about that next week too.
Okay.
Ghosts and porn. What's your best advice that you can give someone on anything?
My best advice would probably some advice I could take myself would be to never give up. And even when you don't feel like doing it, just do it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
All right. And then what do you love and what do you hate about traveling?
The traveling itself,
Mhm.
I don't like flying. I don't like being in a car for a long amount of time.
Okay.
And I obviously love being in a new place and like exploring and seeing what else is out there in the world other than the bubble that I live in.
Okay. I hate people and their confusion with boarding and exiting a plane.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen people more. If you ever like think, is our country in trouble? Go to an airport
Yeah.
and watch people board and get off a plane. It's just they're the most confused people.
Yeah.
And the thing I love most about travel is when I get home from it.
You're like, my bed, yes.
My bad, I'm home. All right, well, great episode, and we'll say bye now. Oh, what do you say?
Oh, okay. If you want to if you want to listen in to our podcast, stream it wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're here on YouTube, you can subscribe, like, comment down below what you think we should talk about next.
And then who are the winners?
Oh, okay. Let me.
I love that you just broke character.
Our winners are dun, 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 Christine,
Christine,
Troy,
Troy,
and Jeff.
and Jeff. All right, all three of you guys, you got shirts coming. I'll reach out to you to get your addresses. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you later.